Welcome back, Facebookers! My family, my fans, my loved ones. You are here. We are live again. It is that time. It is that time. It is Facebook time. What does that mean for you? That means that we got real estate investing talk today. Talk show. It's for you. And I am your coach, Zack Childress. And as you can see, I've got my book still available. You need to get my book. If you haven't got my book, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's the way to go. You need to go to myfirstdealplaybook.com. Do that right now. Get a copy of your book. Get a copy of the book. Get a copy of the book. You got to get this book. This book is changing lives out there. It's helping you get to where you need to be. So come on board, Facebookers. Why? Because I need you to be telling me where you're from, where you at, where you coming in at. And remember, today is Real Estate Investing Talk. It is about you to ask questions, and I am your coach. This is Zack Childress, and I have the lovely Carly in today. Say hi, Carly.
Hi, Carly.
Carly is here because Jill decided to take a vacation, which I am totally a fan of. So so I think everybody needs to enjoy life and take a vacation. And so if you're coming on board, come on board. But what happens is we always got stragglers waiting to come on board. So let me play you a song, stragglers. Here we go. You're not around. I'm looking for you, but you're not around. Where you at, Facebookers? Because I need you right here. I need you on Facebook. I need you to join me. Join me today on Facebook. Here we go. Let's get it going.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
To win it. That's what it's about. Today is a beautiful day. It's Tuesday. What does that mean? I let you get over Monday because everybody thinks they hate Monday. So it's Tuesday. We run live all the time around here. So if you want to be part of this, let me hear from you. Talk to me on Facebook today. Talk to me because I've got some big things to talk to you about. What am I going to talk to you about on Facebook today? The first thing I'm going to talk to you about is your strategy, Tier 1 through Tier 4, and why you should be in each strategy, or when is it time to scale up to another strategy. So when do you go from wholesaling to rehabbing, or when do you go from rehabbing to buy and hold? So we're going to talk about scaling up in your strategies today. Now, I'm not just going to talk about scaling up in your strategies today, but I'm also going to come to you live today, and we're going to have a battle. And what's the battle going to be about? Investing in Bitcoins versus real estate. And who's going to win that battle? Because let me tell you something. The big craze right now is Bitcoins. And what's going on with Bitcoins? What's the reality behind Bitcoins? Well, I'm going to break down some stuff for you today that you might not be aware of, like all the fraud that's going on with Bitcoins, how everybody's losing their money in Bitcoins, not because of the investment, because of the holders of the, electronical or internet money. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're also going to talk about the difference in investing strategies when it comes to Bitcoins versus real estate, and where can you make the most money at. That, my friends, is a full-packed show today. So, if you're with me, let me see some thumbs up, let me see some love, let me see some likes, let me see all that good stuff from you guys, because I want to know that you're here, you're live, and I want to know that you're with me right now. Don't let me down today. Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
We got a good show today, guys. It's all about you, man. It's all about you. So also, let me bring up something that's very, very, very important for you. I got a secret surprise you guys have been waiting on. You want to know what that surprise... Who can guess what the surprise is? Carly, do you know what the surprise is?
No, I don't.
The surprise is I'll tell you this. It's 14. It's 14. It's 14. It's 14. Who knows what the surprise is now? Who knows what the surprise is now?
It sounds like it's pretty cool.
Guys, today is the official day that we open up. Oh, Steven got it. Good job, Steve. We open up the golden tickets today. There's 14 golden tickets available today. This is the start of it. These will sell out. I promise you they'll sell out. They sell out every time. We're literally like 7 weeks away. I'm doing it early this time because so many of you have been asking. So yes, the golden ticket is available today. If you're ready to come to my event in Dallas, Texas, that's right, November 10th through the 12th, you want to come to Dallas and you want special treatment. You want to sit in front of the room. You want to get recordings of the event. You want to get all the documents that come with the event. You want to get coaching call with me, networking party with me, dinner with me, and breakfast with me. Then you know what you need to do, and that is get your golden ticket. Golden tickets are available today. How do you get a golden ticket? You got to call one of my student advisors. 707-249-4248. Did I get that right, Carly?
Number 248, yep.
All right, I got it right. There you go. Pick up the phone, dial it in. Tell them, say, hey, look, I want one of the golden tickets. I'm telling you, I told you every time before, these tickets will sell out. We limit them to only 14. 14 of you that get a golden ticket will not only get special treatment at the event, but all the extra time with me, but you'll also get a coaching call with me after the event to help you build your business. And no, I'm not going to coach you on Bitcoin because as you find out later, I'm really not a fan of Bitcoin. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not saying that I'm right and I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm just saying these are my opinions on what I have researched on why my money is better spent somewhere else. And so get the golden ticket. Get your golden ticket. It is live. The golden tickets are open. Yes, you've been asking me this for 3 weeks. You want to know how and when the golden tickets are open. They are open today. Get your golden ticket to the event coming up in Dallas, Texas, November 10th through the 12th. And you do not want to miss this. Get your golden ticket. Call 707-247-4248. That's your golden ticket. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that more. You know me. I love this event. I love what it does for you guys. I love how it changes lives. And if you got questions about the golden ticket, definitely put it in. Read some of the comments. I'm sure I've got some people on the Facebook right now that have been to it. They'll tell you. If you've been there, tell the rest of the viewers what you thought about the event. Tell the rest of the viewers, if you were a golden ticket, what you got out of it. Let them read from you as a student of mine. Because that is where the game changes. Now, don't get me wrong. I still got general admission tickets. We got general admission tickets. These events are always maxed out because we don't do the 200, 300, 400 people events. Why is that? Because I can't get to know all you guys. I don't like that. I want to keep it small, intimate, so I can personally know you. But these golden tickets are yours if you get on the buzz. Here we go. We got a ticket coming at you right there. I got one more coming at you right there. I got another one coming at you right there. Let's see if I can hit that camera. Justin might get mad at me if I break the camera. But hey, the tickets are available for you. So, how we doing, Carla? We ready to go on the radio?
We are ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's Zack Childress. Welcome back to another real estate investing talk show with your coach, Zack Childress. This is where you get the update information on the real estate market, what you should be doing as an investor in today's market, how you should be starting, or if you're seasoned, the things you need to be aware of and how to get to the next level. Now, I want to tell you today's going to be an important call. If you're listening to me riding down the road or if you're coming back and listening to me later, you got to remember something. We do these calls every Tuesday at 1:30 Eastern time zone, 12:30 Central time zone, for you to benefit from the information to grow your real estate business. I will tell you this right now, and that is, if you're just listening to me on our podcast or on our radio show, you need to join us on Facebook. You need to become a fan. You need to become a follower. How do you do that? You simply go to REISuccessacademy.com/Facebook. REISuccessacademy.com/Facebook. So do that, because here's why. Listening is great. I appreciate you being on here and listening and tuning in to us, but I would love for you to join the show and see and ask questions and be able to interact with us on a regular basis. So that's important that you do that. But here's what our show's all about today. And I've already shared this with my Facebook family that's watching already. The show today is about what strategy is going to be the best strategy for you getting started. Also, how do you know when to scale up your strategies? So how do you know when to go from a wholesaler to a rehabber? How do you know when to go from a wholesaler to creative financing? How do you know to go from rehabbing to passive cash flow investments? These are the things I want you guys aware of. The other thing, the last part of this show is about something that you need to be aware of, and that is I'm going to have a battle of the investments. And what is that going to be about? That's going to be Bitcoins versus real estate. Ooh, left jab, left jab. Oh, left jab, left jab, left jab. I'm going to battle it out with Bitcoins today. And why is that? Because I want you to understand that just because something is a craze right now in the market does not mean that it is the best investment for your dollar. And I'm going to help you to understand and see that later on in the show. So be with us, be with us. Listen, if you're listening in on the podcast or on our Blog Talk Radio, I want you to go to freedomfromflipping.com. Go to freedomfromflipping.com and look at what we are doing in November out in Dallas, Texas. And you should be a part of this. So go check that out, see what we're doing. And I think it's important that you come see me live for 3 days, okay? So let's get started, Carly. So let's talk about this. Strategies. What are the 4 tiers of investing?
You've got wholesaling, you've got creative financing, you've got rehabbing, and then buy and hold.
That's right. Let's give Carly 2 clap. That's right. She's got it. How could she not get it, right? She's in here with me all day. So the point is that you as a new investor or a seasoned investor may not quite understand where you should be at or how should you get to the next level in real estate. So to help everyone get on the same page before we move forward is this. Tier 1 is always or seems to be the number one strategy that most new investors, when they hear about, they want to run face first into Tier 1, which is wholesaling. Now, I'm a fan of wholesaling. Everybody who knows me and my story knows I started as a wholesaler and I built my entire business with a foundation of wholesaling, and then I moved up through the tiers because well, first off, I didn't have enough information to teach me anything different, and that was just what I was told to do, and so that's what I did. See, I'm very coachable. Did you hear that? I was told to do that, and that's what I did, okay? But I flipped it up, right? Because I was only taught traditional wholesaling, which we've had a class on this already, which was find a cash buyer, find a discounted property, and wholesale it. As the more I grew and the more I developed as a real estate investor, what I realized was, I feel like I should have like a Superman shirt on.
You should today. Ta-da!
Actually, I do have a Superman shirt at home. I dressed up as Superman family one year for Halloween. I should wear that. What was I talking about? Oh, as the more and more I got investing, I started realizing that traditional wholesaling was not the only wholesaling game out there. There was all these other ways to wholesale, from co-wholesaling to wholesaling the option, to wholesaling REOs, to wholesaling commercial, to wholesaling to a retail buyer that's getting financing. There's all different types of levels of wholesaling. And so I got really involved in that. But let's go back to the topic today is how do you know which strategy is best for you? Well, let me help you identify this. If you are brand new to real estate and you literally have $0 to your name and you are terrified of going out and raising money or calling hard money lenders or calling asset-based lenders, then yes, wholesaling would be your primary strategy. But don't get stuck wholesaling, because wholesaling is earned income, meaning that if you stop, it stops making you money unless you build a team and you build automation and systems and processes and hire virtual assistants to help run that operation for you. But I always tell people, like, when they come to me and they'll say, Zach, well, I want to wholesale. Well, my first question to you is why? Why did you choose wholesaling? Well, I just can't do anything else. Well, who told you can't do anything else? Well, and that's the question at hand is, did someone along the way sit down with you and actually break down to you, like, here's what wholesaling is and here's what rehabbing is, and, are you able to do it? Because here's my opinion on this. Every one of you listening to this and watching this should be flipping real estate. You should be. You should be doing some type of remodels. You should be doing some type of deals where you can buy them cheap, fix them up, and sell them at retail and make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on these deals. You should all be doing that. And the reason that I say that is because that's where the real money's made. So think about this. If all I did was I went out, I'm gonna write on my wall. See, we tell our kids don't write on your wall, but when you paint your wall to write on it, then you get to write on it, okay? But if all I told you was, hey, all I want you to do is go out and do 4 rehabs this year, and your average profit was $25,000. So if I did 4 times $25,000, that's what? That's $100,000 for the year. So do you understand why I'm such a fan of rehabbing? Because where else can I work part-time, hire a contractor to do all the work, and literally find one deal every quarter? That's all I need to do. One deal every quarter. If I can find one deal every quarter, then that means I can make $100,000 a year. Now, most of you watching this, $100,000 a year in income or extra income is a game changer. It's a game changer. So now let's look at it from a different equation. If I wanted to make $100,000 a year as a wholesaler, I need to do about 10 deals a year because I can make on average between $7,000 and $10,000 per deal, right? So that's going to put me at about $100,000. So let's think about that. Which one of these has more work involved? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Which one has more work? Because at the end of the day, you might think rehabbing has more work. And the only reason that you would think rehabbing has more work is because you are thinking you have to do all the work. And that is the furthest from what I'm trying to teach you. So if you're doing rehabs, you should be hiring a contractor to manage the project. So therefore, my work is really what? Working with agents, doing some marketing, sending out some direct mail, finding some good leads, filling out some paperwork, getting an offer together, and so forth. From there, I hand it off to a contractor. They do all the work, so I make $100,000 a year. Now, let's look at the equation from as a wholesaler. If you're going to be a wholesaler, your work is a lot more. And here's why. Because the deals that you have to get as a wholesaler means you've got to put in more energy and more time dialing the phones and digging up deals and digging and digging and digging and digging. Because think about this, if I got to do 10 deals a year, that's basically 1 deal a month if I take December off for the holidays and I take a month off for the summer vacation with the kids. So that's 2 months off. And by the way, I think everybody should really try to work a life model that works around that. But that means I'm working 10 months out of the year. And let's say that, out of those 10 months, I've got to find a deal every single month, which means I put more pressure on myself to try to dig for more deals every single month. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying is don't short yourself from going into rehabs as a tier 3 investor. Because here's what I can tell you. Most people will say, well, yeah, but if I'm going to do a tier 3, I need more money. I need more money. I need more money. I need more money. Well, here's the reality. There are asset-based lenders everywhere, okay? We have asset-based lenders that we refer to our students. You just got to call the line. You just got to call 707-247-4248. Talk to a student advisor. See if we can help you build a plan for your business to help you reach success. And then we can start teaching you some what's called financial exercises to help you understand that there is money available to you out there and you can go get it. A lot of people don't realize this because why? It's not that they can't do it. It's the fact that they haven't been taught how to do it. Does that make sense? Carly, does that make sense?
Complete sense.
That's a complete sentence, okay? That's a complete sentence right there. So what I want you to understand is yes, wholesaling is an avenue only if you're brand new, you have time because you got to dial the phones, you got to do a lot of marketing. If I want to make $100,000 a year as a wholesaler, I got to do what? 10 deals a year. You understand this equation? 10 deals a year, which means I got to put in some time to do this. I got to call, I got to dial, I got to send direct mail, I got to put this out there. On top of that, the only other reason you would do wholesaling is because you just have a fear of going out and raising money, or you have a fear of talking to asset-based lenders that would fund your deal. Or the one that we can help you overcome more than anything is that you just don't have the knowledge base to know where to find this money, and you've never been given a financial exercise. So I'm offering a line to you right now to pick up the phone and call our office at 707-247-4248 and tell someone that you're wanting really to understand how you can get into a tier 3 investor with the right coach. You need a coach to guide you through that process. I'll give you a prime example. I'm so mad right now. Can you guys tell I'm mad? Like, I'm mad. Let me get my mad. I'm mad because I got a student. You hear that thunder? See, that's how mad I am. That's mad right there. I got a student that I'm working with that hired me as a consultant coach to help them with their business. And this student won't listen to me. They went out and grabbed a deal like in a hurry, didn't even spend the time to research it, didn't spend the time to really delegate, started shooting me texts, and I'm saying, look, check this, check this, check this, check this. Well, next thing you know, they're in the middle of a deal and they had to pay a $5,000 assignment fee that's non-refundable, and now it's coming back to bite them in the butt. And that makes me angry that we didn't slow down enough to go through the processes correctly by validating everything. So look, all this is great, but if you don't have a coach, no, let's change that. Even if you have a coach and you won't listen to him, then you're not coachable. You're just throwing money at a problem that's not fixable until you start to realize that you need a coach and you need to listen to that coach, okay? Because that coach is going to help you go through this model. They're going to help you understand, should you wholesale, should you rehab? Because there's money out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, you could have a full-time job and be rehabbing. You could have a full-time job, buy a deal, put a contractor on it, go by after work, check the progress, and move forward. You could do this in another market and hire a service call, We Go Look, and let them go look for you. These are the things you need to think about. Is that right there? It's like, it's possible once you have the right information. So with that said, so when do you know that you should go from wholesaling to rehabbing? That's really the question. How do you scale up? Well, you should know that you should scale up from a wholesaler to a rehabber as soon as you get out of the fear of going after the money. As soon as you get over the fear of understanding that there's money there, but here's my point. The same amount of time that you would have to put in dialing for wholesale deals, if you put that time in dialing for funding, you would have all the money you ever needed, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean,
true.
it is the truth. If you would put the same time in to dialing for money, looking for money that you would trying to find a wholesale deal, you would absolutely grow your business 10 times faster. Now, don't get me wrong, you should always wholesale, but if I can get you to a tier 3 model as fast as possible rehabbing, then every deal that comes in that either doesn't fit our clustering buying patterns or we're just not in a position to buy it because we've already bought 3 rehabs, those deals then become wholesale deals. So wholesaling doesn't become our primary strategy anymore, it becomes our secondary strategy. Why? Because there's still money to be made in deals that you find that you just can't close on. So that's what you need to think about right there. Now, on the other side of the equation, you've got tier 3 and tier 4, or tier 2 and tier 4. So how do you know that you should be a creative real estate investor, meaning seller financing? Well, a lot of that is going to have to do with your market. If you're in a market where getting financing to buy real estate is challenging, meaning that if you're in a market that financing, especially like in that tier, like that C class, B class type neighborhoods, you know, those markets have a hard time getting financing. So those types of neighborhoods are the types of neighborhoods that we want to move in. So if your medium home price is $150,000 and you got neighborhoods that are selling for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, well, those are ideal markets for seller financing because those types of markets have high restrictions because of past inventory issues. On top of that, they have issues with the buyer types. So those are creative strategy markets. So how do I know to do a tier 2? Well, it's on the market. If the market requires a tier 2, then I'm going to move in with a tier 2 strategy. I'm going to come in with like lease option strategies. I'm going to come in with land installment strategies, contract for deeds, subject twos, wrap mortgages. I'm going to learn these strategies, and you need to learn these from Ian Flanagan. Oh, and by the way, Ian Flanagan is going to be on our interview tomorrow with Dig Deeper with an Expert. You guys don't want to miss that one, okay? I know we had some technical issues last time, but we got it all fixed and figured out. So we're ready to rock and roll tomorrow with Ian Flanagan, the seller financing expert. So that's where a tier 2 comes in. Now, people say, well, Zach, how do you know when you should move into a tier 4 buy and hold? Well, I'm going to get back to that in just a minute. So guys, this is Zack Childress, your real estate coach. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. So stay tuned. Facebookers, what kind of questions you got for me?
We've actually got a couple really good questions here.
All right.
So one gentleman, Victor Young, thanks for joining us, Victor. He says, hi, Zach, I'm stuck with my 17 beachfront condos.
Victor, is this the same beachfront condos we've been trying to get information from you on? Our team reached out to you for information, did we not?
We did.
What? You disappeared, man.
Where'd you go?
Where'd you go, Victor? We tried to figure this thing out with you, man. So my question really is this. You bring these up all the time. One simple question. Do you own these or are you wholesaling these? That's a very important question, Victor.
Let's see.
So his question says, how do I...
He's looking for a seller's list.
A seller's or a buyer's?
Or excuse me, he wants to set up a buyer's list.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So if you're trying to wholesale these beachfront condos, let me give you one very easy strategy, Victor, and you need to do this. You need to go and you need to wholesale these to either landlords who want to buy these and rent them out as a quick turn investment. Go to a service called ListSource. And I want you to go in ListSource and I want you to pull a list of non-owner occupants out of ListSource, specifically within that area that this condo complex is at, okay? And there's probably other condo complexes within this reach. And I would look in this area and pull those up, and I would send postcards. It's going to tell you who they are. It's going to tell you everyone who's bought a condo in that area, in the price range, if you put it in there correctly. And you just say, I want to know who's bought them in the last 12 months. So it'll tell you who the active people are that are buying condos in that area. And then you got to get them some message, some way, somehow, through a postcard that says, hey, I've got more condos in this area. I've got contract. Well, this is why it's important to know, are you a wholesaler or do you own them? I would assume that you're trying to wholesale these things. So I would say that, that you have contracts for sale for condos that might meet their needs, but you have contracts to sell for them if they're interested. That would be my piece of advice for you today.
All right. Then we've got Toby. Thanks for joining us as always.
What's
Toby.
up, Toby?
So she asked a question that goes along with another question that Carolyn Harmon asked. They want to talk about funding, and Toby specifically asked how the contractor gets paid. So if we don't have upfront money, do the contractors get paid after that property is sold?
So, good question, Toby. So how do you pay your contractors? Usually contractors are paid in draws. So that's where some of your funding sources come in. So you get an asset-based lender who's going to fund the purchase, and then you have to get some secondary or bridge funding to come in to fund the remodel. And a lot of times that can be done in draws like Prosper.com, Lender Lab. Those are services can do it. Seed Capital could be one of them. But I also want you to realize Home Depot has what's called project loans. And they'll go up to like $30,000. And you can go and say, okay, I need $20,000 project loan from Home Depot for this job. Now that restricts you. You got to buy everything from Home Depot, but there's so many ways to find this funding for the remodel. And so that's one way to get the materials and everything. Another way is put it on a credit card. But if you're like, I don't want to touch credit cards. I don't want to get a project loan from Home Depot at 12% or whatever. Then you need to look at what's known as joint venture relationships. And so you could pull a contractor in on the deal. And you could say, look, I got this deal for $80,000. It'll sell for $160,000. I'm looking to make $30,000 on the deal. And if the contractor's bid on this deal was, say, $20,000, and that's what they were going to make, then you got to present that to that contractor and say, look, not only will you get the $20,000 for the work, but if you come in and do all the work and pay your employees and buy the material, and when we sell this, I'll give you half of the project. So now they're making $20,000 for the job quoted plus $15,000 on a $30,000 deal, so they're walking with $35,000. There's a lot of contractors that'll do that. But there's very few that can upfront the money to do it. They'll want to do it, but they'll want you to pay the labor because they just don't have the reserves. So finding the right contractor that's established, that has the ability to pay reserves or have a reserve account to pay his employees is what you're looking for, Toby.
Good answer.
So, who we got? Carolyn's on here. Steve's on here. Good job. We talked about funding today. No, we're not talking about funding today. Today is not a funding class. But we can talk about it in another class. Susan! Good to have you on here, Susan. Hey, where's that deal at, Susan, you were telling me about? You said you had a deal for me to look at. Where's it at? You need to get busy, Susan. So, you need to get busy. Hey, did I tell you guys I got 14 seats for my golden tickets? Did I tell you about these? I got 14 of them, guys. We're opening up 14 spots for my golden ticket, VIPs. VIP, 14 of them. And I promise you, they will not last. They won't last, okay? That does not mean you can't still come to the event. I got general admission tickets. That'll get you in. Dallas, Texas, November 10th through the 12th. You want to be part of that. It's important. So if you need us to talk to you, you need to call the office. You need to call 707-247-4248. Call the office, tell them you want to talk about the event. How do you get to the event? How do you get a golden ticket? Look what Steve said. Steve said something nice. He said, go gold.
Yes,
definitely worth it. Love it.
Yeah.
See, I told you, man. Don't take my word for it. Take the students' word for it. That's what it's about. That's what it's always about. It's the students that you need to listen to. I could sit here and tell you how great I think the event is because obviously I teach it. But listen to the students. The students are the ones that'll tell you at the end of the day. They'll tell you.
I need you right now. I need you right now.
Let's lighten it up a little bit. Put some questions in, Facebookers. Because I'm losing my mind right now. Here it comes. I love this part.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
I don't know what it is about that song, man.
That's a good one.
It gets me going every single time. That song has got me, man. How do you decide whether you want a contractor or a handyman? Good question, Steve. I like the questions. I like good questions. That's a good question. They're all good questions. Any question is a good question. So Steve's question was, how do you decide whether you want a contractor or a handyman? Well, let me help you understand that. A handyman is somebody that's going to do lipstick on a pig, as we say. You know, they're going to come in, paint walls, patch some holes, you know, maybe paint some cabinets. They're just a guy that can do a little bit of everything. But when you are brand new and you've never done a deal before and you're getting into it, I always recommend that you have a contractor on board. Because that contractor can make sure that you're safe with the city and make sure that if you have to move electrical or plumbing, they can pull permits for that. But if you're somebody that's kind of seasoned, you've done a few deals, you know the process, you understand what's going on, and you know how to oversee somebody's work, then yes, you could self-manage that project by hiring a handyman and then outsourcing the carpet and outsourcing the tile or outsourcing the hardwood floors and basically become your own, what we refer to as owner, builder, permit type position, where you're saying, hey, look, I'm going to basically manage my own job, and I'm going to hire a tile guy, or I'm going to hire a floor guy, I'm going to hire a painter, I'm going to have a handyman. And I do that sometimes on smaller jobs. But the reason that I say contractors, because I get a lot of people that have never done a deal before, hence my first deal playbook, right? That's a large portion of our student base. And so I want to make sure that they're safe, Steve. So I want to make sure that they're utilizing a contractor to help them build their business. So,
hey, a question that came up, not on here, but actually recently from someone that purchased your book was if they had a small amount of capital, they actually had about $20,000 that they had set aside for the business. That was all they had in their mind.
Yep.
Their question was, should they use that for coaching and education, or should they use that to try to get a transaction done and then come back when they have more capital?
Well, that's kind of a trick question, right? Because, our ego, our greed says, well, I should use this money to go make money with it. And rightfully so. I mean, investing money is for the purpose of making money. But what people fail to understand is they've never really truly understood financial literacy or investing in themselves, and how that's the greatest investment you could ever make. Because I'll give you an example. I lost $100,000 on my first rehab. How did that happen? Well, I had a guy that came to me and said, hey, look, I'll mentor you through this rehab, but I want half your profits. I was going to make $200,000 on this house. And I thought, man, you're crazy. I'm not paying you $100,000 to coach me on one deal. I'll do it myself. Well, that was the worst mistake of my life. Well, maybe. I don't know. Actually, it was good because it made me realize what I needed, and that was a coach. That deal, I ended up losing the house, and I lost $100,000 of my money because I thought that it was better for me to spend my money doing the deal instead of getting someone that could help me.
That was a lot more expensive.
Oh, it was crazy expensive. So here's what I always tell people. What investment that you're going to make is going to give you a long-term ability to keep growing, and that is in yourself. So, am I saying take the $20,000 you have and go buy coaching with all the 20? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if you're going to go after deals, there's so much you don't know that it would be so easy for you to lose $20,000 in the open market blindly because you don't know what you don't know. If it was me, I would take that money and some of it, and I would go hire a consultant. I would go hire a coach to step into my world and say, what would you do if this was your situation, this was your market, and this was the reserves that you were left with? What would you do with that? And let them now guide me down a process and help me rebuild into a bigger, much safer business model that the original $20,000 would not even be a question anymore, because now I would be off doing deals making, $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year because I had someone set me up correctly and guide me down a process that was duplicatable. That would be my answer.
That's a good answer.
So
I should have got you on the phone.
Was that long-winded? What does Steve say down here?
Steve says you'll walk with a good foundation to build on.
Yes, hiring a contractor. I'm sure that's what he's referencing. Yes, you'll walk with a great foundation to build on. I think we got to get back on the radio.
We do. You're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. This is Zack Childress with the Real Estate Investing Talk. Sorry if I left you too long, but I was having some good old times with my Facebook family. Oh, did I mention that you need to be on Facebook so you can interact with me and ask questions and help you grow your business? If you're listening to me on Blog Talk Radio or on the podcast or any other radio out there, you need to go to reisuccessacademy.com/Facebook. That's reisuccessacademy.com/Facebook. Join the Facebook fan, join the Facebook family, become a part of what we do, and you can interact with me also and ask questions. So where we left off was tier 1 versus tier 3 and how we move into tier 3. Then we talked about tier 2 creative financing and how to know when to do that. It's not really when do you move into it, but tier 2 is really designed about what is your market and when should you use the strategy, or where should you use the strategy based on your market. That leads me to tier 4. So people always say, well, Zach, I want cash flow, I want cash flow. Yes, you do want cash flow. You want cash flow immediately. Tier 2 can give you cash flow. Tier 2 can do it. So move into those segments that have those needs and start building cash flow, monthly cash flow off of creative financing, where you can lease a property out with and then sandwich lease option it out to a tenant buyer, where you can create a subject to on a property and then lease it out or rent it out to a renter because you now own the property. Well, you control the property because they couldn't sell it and you could jump on it. But tier 4 is where we want to be. Tier 4 is where you got to get to. Listen, tier 4 is where everybody starts off in real estate. Why do I say that? Because everybody says, man, I want mailbox money. I want to make money while I sleep. I want to do that for rental properties. But then when people get started, they go, oh, but I can't. I don't have a down payment, or my credit's not good enough yet. Well, that's true. So you use tier 2. You use creative financing to build that cash flow. How do you know when it's ready for you to move into tier 4? Well, it's pretty simple. You need to be right now going down to the banks, and you need to be talking with banks. You need to say, what do I need to do to get you to give me a loan on a duplex or a triplex or a 3-family or a 4-family or an 8-unit? And the bank will then tell you, they'll say, well, look, your credit's at, a 605. You might be at a 605 right now. I need you at a 640. So here's what you need to work on. So now I've got an action plan. Okay, awesome. Well, what kind of down money do I need to bring in? Well, we're going to want 15 or 20% down. So once I've identified that, so let's do some math for you real quick. So if I know that I need to be in I want cash flow. Well, that's not working out very well. I want cash flow. Let's say I want cash flow. Let's say I want $4,000 a month. Let's say that's my number, $4,000. So I want $4,000 a month. Passive cash flow on top of what I make now or just to pay my bills. Well, what that means is now I've got to position myself to how do I get $4,000 a month? Well, look at it this way. If I buy a duplex and I get a loan from a bank with 20% down, and I'm buying it right around what we call the all-in pricing, which is about $30,000 to $35,000 a unit, and I can rent it for around $500. So if I can pay $70,000 for a duplex, and I can collect $1,000 a month off that duplex, with my debt services, my expenses, and everything that's in consideration, I can make about $500 a month off of that duplex. Okay, in that round, 30 to 35, renting at $500 a door. So if I know that, then how many duplexes do I have to buy to get to 4,000? Anybody know that one? Jill says, I want to come to Dallas. Look at the Jill, lovely Jill.
I know, Jill. You're supposed to be on vacation.
I know. So, anyways, you guys didn't figure that out. It's how many? It's 8. 8 equals $4,000 a month. Okay. So I need 8 duplexes. So let's think of the numbers. If I'm paying $60,000 a duplex, which is where I need to be, I'm giving you some financial breakdown right now. If I'm paying $60,000 a duplex to get to that number, and the bank wants 20% down, how much down payment do I have to come in? How much?
$12,000.
$12,000. So if I need 8 of these to get to the number I want, 12,000 times 8 equals
96.
$96,000. I need $96,000. Oh, I'm playing music already. Watch out. I'm ready to play some more music.
Your laptop
I
got
need
excited
$96,000. So now I've got a starting point. So I know that if I need 8 duplexes or 4 fourplexes to get to the magical number I want, then I know that I need to go out. If I can buy them around $60,000 a piece, I need about $12,000 per duplex, which means I need about $96,000. Let's round up. I need $100,000 to get it into the market to be making $48,000 a year off of that money. You heard me right. That's a what? That's a 48% cash on cash return. That is what I'm going to talk to you today about, the Bitcoin fight. Okay? So $100,000 a year means what? Who remembers? How long would it take me to make $100,000 a year? Who knows the answer? I gave it to you earlier. I need what? 1 year is a tier 3.
Yeah.
I need 4 flips. 4 flips equals $100,000. So if I spend the whole first year doing 4 flips, that's 1 flip a quarter to make $100,000, I can reinvest that back into passive and cash flow, which means year 2, I'm making $48,000 a year passively. So now if I want to make what? $96,000 a year, then I need to do how many flips? 8. You understand how this works? It's all a backwards math. I need to go to the bank first to figure out what they're willing to do for me. So now I have a starting point and a game plan to execute to go after this. Where most people make a mistake is they don't ever go sit down with a bank to talk to them. The bank is your best friend. The bank is the guy that's going to tell you what they'll loan you, because here's why. When it comes to long-term investments like fourplexes, cash flow, you need a bank on board, because the worst investment you could ever make is pay cash for that daggum rental property, because then your return is horrible. You're talking 4, 5, 6%. So that's why it's so important that you understand that. You guys with me on this? I hope you are. So here's the thing. I want you to join me on Facebook. Because this is Zack Childress, your real estate coach, and I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin versus real estate investing, but that's from a Facebook fan. So guys, if you listen to me on the radio and you listen to me on Blog Talk Radio, join me on reisuccessacademy.com/Facebook. Do that. Go over there, join us, like us, follow us, share our streams, because that, my friend, is where I want to see you. And until next time, just know that this is Zack Childress, your real estate coach, and I'll see you soon. Bye now. Facebookers, you guys are still with me. I love it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to introduce you into my next strategy. But before I do that, listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Get warmed up here. Get warmed up.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Bitcoin versus real estate. Who's winning? Back in the game, guys. Are you ready? Oh yeah. Ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Listen, I did some data research that I've been studying Bitcoin for a while, okay? And people keep saying, Zack, you're a smart investor. Why are you not investing in Bitcoins? Why are you not investing in Bitcoins? Because I don't think it's a smart investment. That's why. You just said I was a smart investor, right? I don't think it's a smart investment. Now, listen. Now, when would I think it's a smart investment? If you would have got in 2012, 2010, if you had got in back then. But even then, it was a case of concern. Because let me explain something to you. The best time that you could have got in was in November of 2013, when you could have got a Bitcoin for $350 in 2013 in November. That, my friends, is when the market took a cycle shift, okay? From there, Bitcoin started taking off. It's kind of like understanding real estate, right? You got to understand real estate from a segmentation market. Like, do we go in the market when it's at its peak? No, we don't. We wait for the drops, and then we buy, and then we sell. We buy low, we sell high, we buy low. That's the same concept with any type of trade. Real estate is a commodity. It's a trade. Bitcoins are a commodity. It's a trade. Why in the world would you jump in now and buy a Bitcoin at $3,986 for one Bitcoin? Yeah, they're predicting in the next 5 years it's going to go up to $8,000 to $12,000 a Bitcoin. But think about that. That's in 5 years. So in 5 years, you're going to double your money. I'm going to double my... Wow, I can double my money. I'm going to go out and buy 10 Bitcoins. Woohoo! I got 10 of these little things, right?
You can retire in 40 years.
Right. I'm going to buy 10 Bitcoins, and I'm going to have $40,000 in Bitcoins. I'm getting agitated. Let me get up. I'm getting agitated. Why are you going to go out and spend $40,000 on Bitcoins that in 5 years, okay, did you see that? In 5 years, you're going to double your money. when I can say this, in real estate, you can take $40,000 and split it into 2 real estate investments, $20,000 for one remodel, $20,000 for another remodel, sell 2 deals that year and make $20,000 profit, and guess what? I doubled my money in less than 6 months. So why would I go out and put $40,000 into an unstable currency that's, if you track it, it follows the same currency as the yen right now? We're not going to get into the conspiracy theories, but I've got some on that. Why would I go after an unstable currency that still hasn't been, really, I guess the right word is accepted globally? It's starting to trend, but not accepted globally. I wouldn't do it. It's unstable. And right now is the worst time to buy. Now, if Bitcoin dropped down to November of 2013, down to $300-400 again, would I buy then? Probably. Because I would have a pretty sure understanding that it's probably going to get back up into 2,000 to 3,000 range. But let me help you understand a few things. I want to walk you through this, okay? I pulled some research for you because a lot of you are like, well, Zach, you don't know. Well, listen, don't take my word for it. If you don't think I'm a researcher, then that's on you, okay? But I want you to listen to this. So here's something that a lot of people don't understand about the Bitcoin market, which we don't have to deal with that on the real estate market. Because is real estate regulated?
Yes, it is.
It's very regulated, right? It is very regulated. Also, when we put money into an escrow account to buy real estate, is that money insured, bonded by that attorney or closing office?
Yes, it is.
It's very much insured and bonded, right? So if that, let's say that house burns down before we close on it, we get our money back, right? We get our money back. Here's what most people don't understand. Let me read you this. Theft and exchange shutdowns, okay? Bitcoins can be stored in a Bitcoin cryptocurrency wallet. So that's where we know money, the online money is. It's in an online wallet, okay? But theft of the Bitcoin has been documented on numerous occasions. At other times, Bitcoin exchanges have shut down. This is the point I'm making that most people don't even understand. 45% of the Bitcoin currency exchange establishments have shut their doors, taking all the Bitcoins that are in there with them.
Wow.
You don't get it back. There's no regulations on these. It's gone. It's poof. But they don't talk about that, do they? All they talk about is how fast it's growing, because that's what, listen guys, go back to 2005 and 2006 in real estate. What happened? The market spiked up in real estate, did it not? Because why? We weren't regulating what? Loan officers, appraisers, the whole 9 yards. It was not being monitored. So it spiked up. It was a false inflation because the demand seemed high because everybody thought, oh, I can make money in real estate. And then what happened? False inflation. False inflation will never stand alone. It will always rise to the top, and it crashed, okay? That is something you need to pay attention to. Here's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Is not only did 45% of all the exchanges shut their doors, but also these currency exchange companies are being hacked and they're being taken. And the problem with that is it's your money. I have no interest in putting my money into a currency that is unstable, much less nationally recognized, much less tracks the yen dollar, much less going to take me 5 years to double my money. So I share that with you because why? I want you to understand my side of the equation when it comes to Bitcoins versus real estate. Oh yeah! So listen, if you invest in Bitcoins, I'm happy for you. I really am. I just hope that you invested in 2013, maybe to November of 14, when you could still get under $1,000. Because right now, if it was me, I'd sell everything. I just would. And the reason I'm telling you I'd sell everything is because of something. If you look at the indicators right now, it is not stable. It's not. We're at the peak. If you watch the trend from 2015, 2016, 2017, we're up here. And now it's starting to do those dips. It's starting to do those dips. It's starting to do those dips. I can't predict the future. I wish I could. I'd invent invisibility. I would. I'd be the invisible man walking around. So, but the point I'm making is it's just not stable enough for me right now. And listen, and if it might stable out, and people may come back to me and say, Zach, what an idiot you are for not investing in that. And I would say, you know what? Okay, but at least I know the investments I made were predictable, were stable, and were regulated, and I knew what I was getting. Not only was I doubling my money a lot faster, but also I was getting a lot of tax benefits, a lot of appreciation, and a lot of other things. That's my point with investing money in Bitcoin versus real estate. You need to really think about this and not just be somebody that jumps on the bandwagon, right? Bandwagon investments never work out. They don't. So be smart about your investments. Do some research, guys. Do some research. Look at the trends. I mean, look, if I showed you a real estate market and I said, let's go invest in Atlanta, Georgia. And here's where Atlanta, Georgia was. Whoop! And now Atlanta, Georgia's up here. What would you guys say to me? You'd say, whoa, well, the market's already peaked. Why would I invest now? That's my point. If you're investing in Bitcoins, it's because you're investing in Bitcoins. You're not buying a coin to look pretty around your neck. It's an investment, okay? And if you're trying to diversify, then kudos to you. Diversify. Stick $100,000 in Bitcoins and get you 40 Bitcoins or whatever and hope that it doesn't crash and burn on you, right? My point is there's a time and a place to invest in everything, and I think the time to invest in Bitcoins were in 2013 to 2015. That is my opinion on Bitcoin investments. I think right now, if you've got an extra $10,000 or $20,000 laying around and you're thinking about Bitcoins, you should be thinking about real estate and getting a coach to show you how to turn that money into $200,000 or $100,000 in a shorter time frame than what a Bitcoin would do for you. So that's really my outlook on that. You know, if you got some feedback, I'd love to debate with you today. Anybody giving me some feedback?
No feedback, but even on that point, it's really like Bitcoin's totally speculative. So if someone wants to get into investments like that, they can use real estate as their foundation.
That's right.
Create the income that you need so that you can throw money at options like that and see what it does.
Absolutely. Listen, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Here's my thing. There is no way Bitcoin is going to take over currency. And let me explain why. Because Bitcoin is not, there's no way for the big brothers out there to control that currency. And as much as we think we're a free country, we're not. Let's be honest about that, okay? You got to build your own economic empire and stop Big Brother from trying to take it from you. They're not going to let Bitcoin take over. It's an online currency. Trying to trace it and track it and keep up with where it's coming from is the biggest challenge they have because it's not trackable. It's not going from bank account to bank account. It's an online wallet. It's out there somewhere, right? Try to go buy a casino with Bitcoins and watch what happens. You'll never buy it. They can't trace the money. You understand? This is why it became a black market currency, hint black market, because it was untraceable money. That was how people were using it to buy stuff that they shouldn't be buying online because there was no way to trace it back to them. That's why it's never going to be mainstream. They can't regulate it enough to track it. And so Big Brother, I promise you, has their hands in this. And that's something that we need to wake up and be aware of when it comes to. So, but I mean, I could go on hours and hours about what I believe in Bitcoin. But hey, if you own Bitcoin and you bought it for $1,000, I'd probably watch it for another 3 to 6 months, and if it keeps going down, I'd sell it. I mean, it was down today about 2 hours ago. You know, so it's rocky right now. I mean, you just got to watch it. Yeah, they say, oh, well, it's going to go up because of this. It's going to go up because of that. They all said it was going to go up when Trump got elected. Well, what did it do? It went down. I mean, did it come back up? Yeah. I'm not saying Trump was the reason of it, but I'm just saying, like, when you have an online invisible currency like that, or like an option trading like Carly's talking about, there is nothing tangible to it. You can't link it to the oil and gas trade. You can't link it to economy, indicators. It's its own thing, and it's growing because of the demand. You think 2 years ago, there was only like, I think 2 million Bitcoins in the market. You fast forward today, you're talking, I think it's like 20 or 30 million Bitcoins are out there. Because why? Because they can make as many as they want. You understand? That's the devaluation of it, is that the way valuation holds is when there's limitation of commodity, right? The demand for it is greater than the need, or the demand of it is greater than what's available. Well, when you have an online currency like that, we'll just make more, we make more. That's how we have inflation and we have deflation of currency, okay? So you got to study up on that. So sounds like junk
bonds. Yeah, we're both reading the same thing. And didn't this, I mean, I think you look back, the dinar and even Zimbabwe money, weren't there examples similar to this?
Very much.
Not being
very
controlled.
much.
It cost, $1 million Zimbabwe dollars to get an egg after they eliminated any regulation of it.
No, you nailed it on that. And listen, this goes on forever. I mean, the Chinese yen has been trying to do this forever. They've been trying to do it. And listen, there's a little bit of an interest for the yen to go mainstream, because they're actually the Chinese yen is anyways, I mean, it is a false number as itself, but they are trying to get it to where the Bitcoin is an untaxable currency. So who do you think has a very high interest to make Bitcoins go big? Yeah, listen, if I could spend millions of dollars buying U.S. products with an online currency and not be taxed on it, you can bet your sweet butt that I'm going to what? I'm going to push that to be live and go mainstream.
Probably buy a lot more real estate.
Yeah, that's true. So anyways, that's my rant for today. Anything else from you Facebookers today? Anybody got anything for me?
Toby had a question about using mortgage brokers. I don't necessarily know if it relates to it this point.
Toby, mortgage brokers are okay, but I'm going to tell you, if you want the best outcome for funding, find the small banks in your area. Find the small banks. Find the banks that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches. Find those guys. Those are the ones that are trying to become big banks. So they have a higher risk tolerance, and they're willing to help more people so that they can get more capital running through their operations. So that's who you're looking for.
Hey, and you have a 30-day fast track. Within 30-day fast track, it talks a lot about different ways to leverage mortgage brokers and build relationships and how you can make money with those. 30-day fast track. Yeah, so Toby, reach out to us in the office and we can tell you more about that.
How do they reach out to us?
You would give us a call in the office at 247-4248.
707-247-4248. Do that today. Do that today. Because I need you right now. I need you to do what we tell you to do. I need you to get in the game. I need you to start studying and become part of the group. Do what we tell you to do. This is Zack Childress. Love you guys. I'm out.